Hi, my name is Johnny Gicar. Welcome to The Works. Mindset, self-awareness, and personal growth, and strive towards the ultimate goal of mastering ourselves. Let's mindset engineer. Welcome to The Works.
Okay, so it's recording. So welcome to The Works. We had trouble getting this started.
We had time, so we're good.
And apart from Johnny stupid ending the call. So welcome, Stefany. So people want to know who you are. What do you do?
My name's Stefany. I'm an interior designer. I started my own business this year, actually. I've been in design for as long as I can remember. I was born in Colombia, so I always had two different cities of influence when it came to design and culture and authenticity and language and everything.
So what brought you to designing? Like what popped in your head and said, this is what I want to do?
Again, living in two completely different environments, I always analyzed people's homes when I would walk in, like our country home in Montreal, in Medellin. It was always something that interested me. And, it's as the second you walk into someone's home, you can kind of analyze a little bit about a person. You understand who they are. And then the first 10 seconds you walk into a home, and Medellin and Montreal are really different. And it just interested me how a different culture can affect you and how a space can affect you. And I just found that super interesting. And I love fashion and film too, so that also influenced me into design. I was obsessed with doors. It was so weird, but I love a good door. When you go to Italy or when you travel and you just see the different types of doors, they're so grand and that has such an impact on you. And I don't know, that was just something that stuck with me when I was really young. I just loved doors. It was weird.
So basically, when you work now or when you design, you include kind of like both countries, as you're mentioning, into your work?
Yeah, I think I was really influenced by Colombian architecture. Montreal has beautiful architecture too, the old port. And I definitely incorporate that in my designs. And when I travel, I try as much to learn about the history and the architecture in every town and every city and every country. So I get influenced as I go. So yeah.
So here's an interesting question, okay? Because you said as soon as you walk into someone's house, you'll know who they are within whatever the first minute. So what do you pay attention to when you walk in either a home or your friend's home or a place where they're asking you to redesign or add value to their property? What do you look at?
I think I look at the choices they've made so far. I know that budget is always an issue when it comes to choosing a specific item. Just because you have that in your house doesn't mean that's something you would have maybe chosen if you had a better budget or if you had more access to certain things or if you had more time. So I do take that into consideration. Even for myself, as a designer, you expect the designer to have like the most beautiful home, but it's not always the case. It takes time and years to collect the things that you really love and cherish and timeless pieces. So when you walk into a home, I really look at more of like the more human approach to it. If it's if you see that they've traveled, you'll notice that they have a lot of more souvenir type fixtures. Or if you're really into, I know this one lady, she loves candles and vases and plates. So you notice that, if you're going to someone's home and they're serving you like these beautiful plates, that they're collecting these items. And those are the things that really are valuable to them. Or, some people, it's more of like a pad, and they don't take a home so seriously. They just want to be comfortable, and if they're happy in their environment, then that's what makes them happy. But yeah,
So it's that human touch, basically,
yeah,
that you
totally.
want to put in,
Yeah.
right? You don't want the generic magazine style of design.
Yeah, and some people want to incorporate both. So let's say I'm redesigning a home that already has all their furniture, and they just want to reuse everything they have. You just take that to the next level. Let's say they have a lot of furniture, carpets. Um, you can redo all your chairs, or you can it's about like floor planning. Just changing the direction of your bed can have a huge impact. Just moving.
Do you believe in damn, now you're gonna have to help me out with this, that what do they call it when, depending how your bed is placed or certain items in your home is placed, feng shui or
Yes,
something like
feng
that?
shui, exactly. So you can't have it facing you. As soon as you walk in, it can't be facing you right in front. It's like,
Okay, so do you believe in that, or do you try to do it?
I don't necessarily not believe in that. That's another thing. It's culture. You have to really understand someone's culture before thinking of designing someone's home or a space. See, like someone that does believe in that, I have to take that into consideration. I believe whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you comfortable, and as soon as you walk in, you have to feel happy. So if you believe in that, and you are, it's more of a superstitious thing that you don't have any bad energy, which I definitely believe in that. So I definitely always take that into consideration when designing.
So you really have to, from the sounds of it, you really have to get to know the people you're working with or for, and get to know your clients, and you almost have to get in their shoes or in their atmosphere or in their environment.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to create that.
Yeah, so design there's a lot of psychology in there. You have to be a really good listener.
Yeah.
You have to be able to communicate what you're trying to say. Lucky for me, I'm an extrovert and a social butterfly, so I love questioning things. I love talking to people. And I try as much to listen, so that way they feel comfortable enough to tell me what they're really thinking, how they feel. It's like the human connection part that really, really inspires me to design a space for them. Yeah, it's a lot of psychology, and you have to understand the culture, where they came from. There's specific colors that mean certain things, like the color red to China or the color red to India. It's completely different, so you have to understand color psychology. Ergonomics, are you sitting down a lot? Are you always cooking? Like, I try and ask them a day in the life of. So I tell them to walk me through their day, from being in bed to coming home at night and going back to bed. Like, what's your journey like? And I try and put myself in their shoes and understand how they live. And obviously there's sometimes you can make your lifestyle a little better, and if I can do that with just creating a nice home and a nice environment, so they can have a more positive effect on their own life, then I did my job.
What happens if a client calls you up and says, okay, I need your help, I need you to redesign, I need you to help me out, come up with some ideas, but this person is an introvert, or this person doesn't really have any
opinions?
like, what do you do with that? Or how do you deal with it? Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah, I know people that they don't actually know what they want. They probably have an image of what they want in their mind. So Pinterest is really good for that. I tell them to start up a board and just collect images of anything that they like. They can see a whole home, a picture of a whole kitchen, living room, and they might like one thing out of it. I really like that couch. Okay, put it in there. Tell me what you like anything from the natural sunlight. I love this. I love the way the sun beams on this frame and my piece of art. Okay, great. I understand that that's important to you. You know, like, and a lot of design is architecture as well, so we have to take that into consideration. Again, the natural lighting, where you're placing all your furniture, windows. You know, there's so many elements to it. But I usually tell them to think of an overall space, how they want to feel. I tell them to write down words that they like to use. You know, like from minimal to comfortable, any word that they just they feel that they want to feel when they come into a home.
Okay, so 2 questions now.
Yeah.
Because it's more, well, personally right now the way I feel is it's a lot more complicated than I thought. Not complicated, but it's a lot more
Complex.
I guess. Yeah, complex, right? Than I thought. I'm sort of like a minimalist, I guess, in my apartment. I mean, it's not the biggest apartment, so I try to keep it very minimal to make it look bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah.
But if you have a small space, what would you recommend?
I would definitely recommend utilizing every piece of furniture that you have and try and, let's say you have a couch, make it a sofa bed. If you have storage, make sure that it's storage big enough for you to have an organized mess, as you can say. You know, like just have boxes where you can dump stuff inside and just have hidden mess. Just have a hidden mess.
I think I might have to use that one because my place is just a mess, period.
Yeah,
but
no, it's hard to, because you know the thing is, like, it's hard to put things away when you don't have anywhere to put it, so they just end up lingering everywhere. But if you have like a specific, I have a bunch of boxes, like just right here. I'll show you real quick. It's called an organized mess. So I don't know if you
okay, I see.
But can you see?
A little bit, yeah, I see.
Okay, so you know, like these are all from IKEA, and it's just organized mess. That like files, old cell phones, everything, like little gadgets, little pens, everything that like you always see around. You know, papers, receipts. So just create boxes and areas where you can put them in, and then every once in a while you take out the box and then you clean it up, you know.
Nice.
For storage as well, you know, just I mean, are you talking more in terms of organization as well, like for a small space?
Yeah, pretty much, because I find that it's like, I'm speaking personally for like a small space, like I don't have much, but as soon as I add a little something, it looks like cluttered, and it looks just like, oh my god, like it's too much. It's like, holy, what do I do now?
Right. So, well, definitely adding mirrors makes the space look bigger. Having smaller furniture instead of bulky furniture, things that are using glass instead of solid colors, using transparency. You know, again, less bulky furniture, and yeah, just having a bit more light and colors to make it feel less cluttered. Also have us less patterns, and you know, like don't have a huge painting that's catastrophic, like that has too much going on, you know, because then it gets too busy. Exactly. If you have a small space, try and keep it minimal, like you said, clean, organized mess, and just more like smaller furniture, minimal, transparency.
Yeah, I think that's what I try to stick it. Try to get pretty much like glass table, glass coffee table, anything see through. I think is the what I did. I think was my only good design decision I made. But yeah, so for the people listening to this, Me and Stefany were actually on Zoom, but we're recording with respecting social distancing. So it's the
We're more
box
than
is
six
so
feet
you
away,
can't
that's for
see.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. So if I ask you what, so like in my domain, I always have a project that stuck with me, or one of my favorite projects. So for you, if I ask you what was your favorite project that stuck with you, what would it be?
Um, it was designing a creative agency space. It's an office studio in St. Henry. Um, it stuck to me because I work closely with the whole team. I also do set design for them, so I have a connection to everyone. I see them a lot, and when they told me they were moving into a 45 to 5,000 square foot space, it didn't seem as challenging as it did when I actually got to that point. um,
So creative space, you mean what? They're using this as like video
yeah,
or
so it's a creative agency, so it's an office space. They have a photography film studio.
okay,
We have another room for it's called 360 photography, so it takes pictures all around of a product.
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, they have clients coming in, they have meetings, they're there every day. You know, creatives work night and day, so there was always someone at the office. So you have to take so many things into consideration, even the like the workflow, the walk flow, um, thinking of how many different areas there are and making sure that it's open but closed enough that there's still privacy. It was a really amazing project because I was there every single day, so I got to see demolition. I got to see the construction, working with the contractor every single day. I was on site all the time, making sure that everything was going as planned. Um, we went through 3 electricians. You know, it never goes as planned, and not everyone works the same way you do. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta move it along and find somebody
Yeah,
that
yeah.
at your level,
Everybody
you know.
everybody has to be on the same wavelength, right?
Totally.
If you're not on the same page, it's super difficult. And that's my favorite
It is.
subject is people management.
Oh
It's the
yeah,
most difficult freaking thing to do. It's
I
because
know.
a lot of people don't listen. A lot of people don't hear you, what you're
Yeah,
trying to tell them.
yeah, and
What do
especially
you,
because I'm a woman, it's a lot harder to manage contractors, electricians. You know,
in the
it
construction
is
world, for sure. Yeah.
it
I
is a man's world when it comes to construction. So that's why I think about how I approach them. I think about how I would want to be approached. So, you know, you always have to think before you talk. You can't just talk on anger or emotions, or you have to think about it and come up with solutions and not just bitch. You know, you have
yeah.
to work with them, not against them. So I
Yeah,
find that.
they'll tune you out so fast if you. So what did you realize like with in that industry, because that's my industry, right? I'm engineer, project management, and all that stuff. So I have to deal with these people. So what for you? I can't speak for you because obviously I'm a man. We have different positions, different aspects. Um, but what did you learn out of that, and how to approach people? Let's say in, as you call it, like a man's world.
Hmm. I look. You have to gain respect just as you have to earn respect. Like as a woman, we have to put our foot down in a respectful manner and just make sure that nobody steps all over us. You know, the second that I'm not generalizing, but anyone, a woman to a woman, a man to a woman to a man, like the
Yeah,
second that you show weakness and that you show that, you know, you could be stepped all over on, they will, you know. So you just have to make sure that you know what you're talking about, work together, stand your ground, and just try and work as a team, you know, and tell them that we're in this together and we both want to make this place come to life with no hurdles. And nobody wants issues. Everybody wants a good workflow and a good flow and a good relationship by the end of it. You don't have to hate each other by the end,
Exactly.
You want to gain relationships and be proud of work that you've done. So I think it's just about putting your foot down and being sure you know what you want and working together. That's all.
So what do you think is more important in a scenario like this, right? So you're going up to someone that's kind of like, I don't know, not doing exactly what you're looking for. So what's more important here is the approach aspect, like the human connection, the communication, or the actual knowledge of what you're talking about, what you want, and the information you're trying to give them. Like, what's the best approach, the human connection or going strictly with like logic and what you want, or a mix of both?
It's definitely a mix of both. So when designers make their plans, we have construction, demolition plan, electrical plan, plumbing. We have all the plans, and the more information we have on those plans, the less we communicate with them, the less we need to communicate with them. Obviously, we still have to have some sort of communication throughout the whole process, but I think it's less stressful on both ends if I did my job properly so he can do his job properly and he has something to follow. And at the same time, on his end, he definitely needs to communicate. He can't start assuming that he knows what I mean. They also have to pick up the phone and call me in a nice way, like, just ask the question, what do you mean by this? Or can you elaborate? Can you just resend me the plan with more information? It's all about communication. It's like a relationship.
Yeah.
If you don't communicate, everyone assumes and everyone thinks like the other is doing something they shouldn't be, when in the end that person was probably just went for a walk or something. Like, it's about communication. It's
Assuming,
all
right? Assuming you make an ass out of me and not of you, or whatever they say, right?
You just started a whole problem for nothing because you're assuming and you're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
So I think just communication is key, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, I want to go back to basically how you started all this design thing. And I know that you have like personal projects going on, and if you want to elaborate on that, I know you have a bunch of hobbies that we spoke about before. So if you want to talk about those, it would be interesting as well.
Okay, so we can start with
You choose. Personal project.
personal project.
If I would have to give you a unlimited budget, okay, unlimited budget, a city, and a type of building or apartment or house of your choice, what would it be?
Yeah, it would definitely be. I love retail.
Did you ever think about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love retail. I love. So everything's going to e-commerce. Everything's online, especially with what's going on. You get to see the reality of it, and everything you can do online.
Mm-hmm.
You can shop online. You can work out online. You can do anything online. So I find it really important to move with the times, and there's something about retail, fashion, e-commerce, marketing that I'm really interested in, and I've always wanted to do. I really like pop-ups because they're more of an experimental process.
Okay, wait. Explain pop-ups because I don't know what that is.
Okay, so pop-ups is a temporary retail space that you use. Let's say it could be 1 month, it could be 6 months, but it's a temporary location. Let's say Nike Lab, which is something I would love to do. They have pop-ups all around the world, so it can be in a mall, it could be in a random location in the middle of nowhere. But it's more about the experience. So when you walk in, I don't know, maybe there's a basketball court and you get to try on the shoes and you play basketball, or maybe Um, it's all digital, and you get to see yourself wearing certain clothes through digital experience. Or I don't know, it could even be an ice cream store where you can literally learn how to make ice cream. So it's involving the client and the purchaser into the process of
That's
purchasing.
cool. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
So I find that super interesting, and I would love to do pop-ups all around the world and travel and see how people react to differently in different locations with different atmospheres. So,
Nice. That's interesting. I would
yeah.
like to be part of because I love shoes. I'm obsessed with freaking shoes. And I would love to, let's say, walk in like shoes that I wear every day, example New Balance, right? I just find them super comfortable. They're you wear them every day, you're fine. Apart from like all the other loafers and nice shoes that I like, but New Balance, I would love to experience that. Like you mentioned it for Nike. That would be super interesting to try on all the because they have thousands of models, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see how or get involved in the process, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, and in Miami they have a really interesting Levi's pop-up.
Okay.
Um, and you actually get to see what machines they use. So they do it all on site, and they reuse the jeans, so it's environmentally friendly. But they show you the whole process. I'm not gonna get too much into it.
And you could actually physically like see all this going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's
It's
crazy.
almost like a mini factory. So you get to walk around. It shows the history. It explains everything, the timelines. You see people actually working on it. There's custom made jeans to fit to your needs and to your wants. So no, it's really cool. It's fun to be part of the process. It's like watching a behind the scenes of a movie.
Exactly.
You like
Exactly.
understanding like what goes on behind the whole movie and the hard work and the
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
So basically, that would be your a project that you would love to do with unlimited budget and create these pop-up spaces.
Exactly.
And you would have to build if you would have to build your custom home. My question is, where would it be?
I see. That's why I don't want a home. I want.
Okay.
I don't want a house. Sorry, a home is what you make of it. A house. I don't want a house. I want a few smaller homes.
So
In
you want to
different
you want to move around. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I can. I need
You
to
want to
move
change.
around.
You want to change your environment every couple of days or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely, I love Montreal. Colombia, definitely. But I'll always have a home there. My dad lives there, so I already have a home there. But I would love to live in New York or LA. Definitely somewhere in the States.
Is it because the market's bigger there for these type of things? Let's say like LA, right? Everybody knows
Yeah.
LA homes are amazing and whatever. So
Yeah. Well, because there's just a lot of it's just so different in the States. Let's say you go to LA, there's San Francisco, then you can go to just not too far, there's Yosemite, so there's beautiful nature, and then you have the beach, and then you have the city, and then you have Grand Canyon, which is a drive away, which is a completely different type of vegetation, and it's just very diverse, so it's accessible to have different types of environment there. And New York as well, it's huge, it's a beautiful city, it's fast paced, but the design, the people, they have a beach too, which is pretty great. But yeah, no, I would love to have a few really cool lofts in different locations.
nice. It's crazy now that we're talking about this. Like I had like somewhat of an idea of what design was, but now the way you're explaining it, it's like holy crap, there's like a lot more there's a lot more to it, and it's not just like looking at one single space and making something out of it. It's the factors that go into this are like almost never ending, if I want to put it that way.
Totally.
So if I would have to ask you, what skills you thought you needed when getting into this, and the skills that you developed over time that you never thought about and said, holy crap, well, it's completely different. So the skill set from beginning to where you are now, like what changed or what have you learned?
I guess when you first go into design, you feel like you're going to be, well, times are changing. We did have to learn everything by hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now everything's on computer. So I really thought that we had to know how to draw, and we had to choose materials, which we do. But, you know, that's one thing that everyone confuses us is we're not decorators. And I'm not like downplaying them or anything. Mm-hmm. We do completely different things. You know, we're more technical. In a lot of other countries, we're known as interior architects.
Okay.
So it's a little more clear, you know.
Yeah,
but when you say interior design, people confuse it with decorating, and then they don't know the elements of both. So it's easy to confuse. But I know that going into design, you definitely learn project management, time management, psychology. You know, if you're not a people person, you can't own your own business. That's for sure, because it's all about that. It's about promoting yourself, your brand, understanding other people, getting out there, meeting people.
So if you have to describe you, let's say, Stefany, your brand, in a word or a few words or in a sentence, what would it be? That's an interesting question, eh? I see you like, oh my God, why did he just ask me that?
Oh my God.
In a few words, or in like what makes you you? What makes your design, or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Because
totally.
I thought about that question too, right? So I have my work, my career, but I also have my company on the side as well, and now the podcast. And I thought about it like, what the hell's like my what's my thing?
Like, what's your vision? What's your mission?
Like, I know my mission. Like, my mission is to talk to people who have super interesting stories and a different view on things. Like, you changed my view on design completely within the last half an hour. So that's my vision, is just bringing it out there and bringing people with like interesting minds and just putting it out there. But if I would have to describe myself, I have no fucking clue. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know.
It's easier to describe someone else than it is to describe yourself.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I don't know. It's an interesting question that, you know, a lot of, like, when you're starting off your business, that's what they say, you know, what's your slogan, or what's your thing, what's your vision? Like, you have a general idea of what you want to do, but then I guess actions speak louder than words, right? I guess your work speaks louder than a freaking slogan that you're going to put in your brand.
Totally. And that's another thing, is you have to know how to express your designs. Like, you can't just put up a picture. You have to have something in writing to have people understand what your vision was, so they can understand the process, you know. So having writing skills is very important. But yeah, I just want to be able to inspire people. I want to be able to bring someone's vision to life. I want to be able to make the world a better place. I know it sounds cliche, but it basically is that. I want people to go into their homes and feel happy, and go into a retail store and really feel the brand. I want people to walk into a hotel room and, you know, just leave a memorable mark. And, you know, it's just about having an impact on people and making people feel an emotion and feel good and confident and inspired and
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
yeah.
Good. Perfect. Positivity. Positivity. So if I ask you about like we're gonna let's say vision in 10 years from now, where do you want to be?
In 10 years, I would love to have a team. That's a great question.
Yeah.
You see, this is important for everyone in the world.
Everybody. That's why I trust me. I ask myself every day, and every day, chances are, I'll come up with a different idea.
Yeah.
So I'll ask myself in 10 years where I want to be, and if I ask myself in a week from now, it's probably going to change. I don't know if it's the way my mind works or the way, I have no clue. It just keeps changing.
It always changes, and that's why it's good to have like an overall goal. That's why, let's say in my case, I would love to have, I don't like working alone. Like, I love being around people. Right now, I am working alone.
You have no choice right now.
I have no choice.
Yeah.
But eventually, I do want to work with someone or a few people, have a team where we have the same vision, mission, and we're aiming towards that goal, where we can travel together, inspire people, design amazing things, and leave a mark on this earth, and I want to help people eventually, like if it's through voluntarily work, maybe helping to build mini homes in countries where, I don't know, there was a tornado or something, I just want to help people eventually. That's my like long-term goal, but I want to use my design and do good in the world as well. That's
super cool. That would be that's a good idea. So if you have to build your team, so this is super important, right? You have to build your team, you have to hire a few people, and what are you looking for in people? Like if you're the kingpin, you're the boss, you're in charge of your brand, and there's people coming up and you have to build some sort of a team. What are you looking for? What are the skills, characteristics, personalities that you would see fit for what you want to do?
I think definitely, I don't know, I can't stress this enough, but having a good sense of humor is so key, because sometimes we have to laugh at our mistakes or just make jokes and just make an environment fun. So I find that so important, because when you have a hostile environment, it just kills your drive. It doesn't make you want to go to work. If you have a Debbie Downer in the office, we're all made of energies. So the second you have one bad apple, it attacks the others. So I find having positive energy, a positive outlook on life, a sense of humor, that's definitely one element that I look at. I look at someone that has drive and passion and knows where their priorities are, definitely those are the two things I would look for. Like-minded people, same values, just a good person. I know it's not only about that, but those are the first things that come to my mind when I think of like someone I'd want to work with. Because if you're working with them every day and they're representing your business out in the world, like that's the first face I would want people to see.
It's the image, right? You only get one chance on showing the world what you are, right? First, the first judgment.
You can be the best at what the best you can be at what you do. But if you have a shitty attitude, no one's gonna come to you.
So basically, you don't believe that assholes succeed or have success.
We don't know how they succeed. Some assholes work because they cheat or they lie, or maybe it's not a continuous client. Maybe it's that one-time client, and that client ends up hating him so much, and then he does that to every single person. We don't know. It's about like the relationships you build with with your clients. And when you see a company have a continuous relationship with a client, that means they're doing something right.
Exactly.
When you see like they only did one project for all their clients that they have, it shows a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we go back on the energy, because I believe in that energy thing so much that when you meet people, and it could be random people, even like you're at a bar and the person comes up to you, you could feel that energy like crazy. I don't know if not everybody's in tune with that, right? But
no, I think that not everyone realizes it yet, because you have to educate yourself on that. I know it sounds cliche again, but the book The Secret, it was the first book I picked up when I was young, and I was so interested in that. It almost didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, how is this possible? How are we made of energy?
Yeah.
How does this work? So that's the first book I picked up, and then I just started exploring, doing my own research, and it is all about energy. And I started actually implementing that into my everyday life, and it does work. If you wake up in the morning, your first 5 minutes of your morning can determine the whole rest of your day.
Oh my God, 100%.
It's easy to pick up your phone right away and start going on Instagram, social media, even just going into your emails, going into your bank account. Like, it's so stressful that
Yeah.
it doesn't start off well. You have to start positive. I don't know if it's listening to podcasts, things that are inspiring.
So what do you do? What do you do? Like, let's say you wake up in the morning, right? What do you on a regular day? Like,
Yeah.
what's your routine? What do you do?
Yeah. So I try not to look at my phone.
Yeah.
I some days I slip, but for most days I do. I listen to music. I love house music. It just pumps me up in the morning.
Very nice.
I love listening to
I think that's
that.
how we met. Did we meet over house music? I don't remember.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think we did. A long time ago.
Definitely a long time ago. But yeah, no, house music, some podcasts. There's even on YouTube, there's a lot of motivational speakers that I listen to.
Yeah.
They just motivate you, and they make you question different aspects of your life, that in a positive way,
Yeah, absolutely.
questions that you need to ask yourself to move forward and not backwards. So definitely those three things: having a coffee, being at peace. I live with my boyfriend, and I feel like sometimes if we just start talking to each other about work and everything, like, it just bombards us. Our minds are fresh in the morning, so just suck in some positive energy in there for the rest of the day.
Exactly. I think you need that in the morning. What I believe in is that you need that time with yourself, with no outside distractions, basically. So I know in the morning, for me, it's like, I'll get up and it's probably music, coffee, and I'm outside. That's the first thing I do. And, you feel it right away as soon as you open up social media. Well, the first negative thing that you see impacts you, and it just changes your day. So yeah, for sure, none of the above in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever hear of Les Brown?
Yes.
He's a motivational speaker. And
yeah.
This guy, I don't even know how to explain it, but this guy, every time I watch like YouTube videos on him or like his motivational speeches, like I get like goosebumps. This guy's so powerful. Yeah. It's insane how powerful this guy is. And there's one of his quotes that I can't remember word for word, but it basically says, we're all born unique, but most of us die a copy. And that's like super, it's something that's stuck with me. And I think that's what drives me on being different and trying to stay different and trying to do my own thing and not give a crap about what other people think and not trying to
Yeah,
be like everybody else, basically.
I know. And you know what? It's so hard not to want to. It's not that we want to be like everyone else. We're just like, wow, they're so successful. Like, I want to be like that. But the problem with that is that nobody knows how they got there, the struggles. Some people got it easy, fine, but there must have still been a process. Everyone lives differently. So what they did, even if you follow to the exact T what this person did to become that, it won't work for you.
Exactly.
You have to find your own path, and it's hard. It's because the thing is, we want things fast now, so we don't want to have to like try 5 things in order to get to that one thing. We want to like
we want
not
it right.
fail
We
at
want it
all.
right away.
Yeah,
We
and
want it.
that's
Have you
the
ever?
problem.
I used an analogy where for that, like we want everything so fast nowadays, and everything has to be like right now. And
Exactly.
the analogy is not the other day, but like a couple of months ago, I went to McDonald's drive-through. Okay.
Yeah.
And which I barely eat McDonald's. I think it was the first time in like 4 years I ate McDonald's, but I was craving a fry. Okay. And I said, fuck it, let's just go get a freaking fry. And the person in front of me is at a fast food drive-through restaurant, and this person's getting pissed and getting angry because she had to wait, I don't know, 2 minutes for her freaking order or Big Mac to come out. And I
Yeah.
was just like, well, how fucking fast do you want this burger? Like, I don't get it. Like, you want to say, I want a Big Mac, and you want to be eating it right away. So
Yeah.
it just represents like our world today. Everybody wants it now.
Yeah. We're spoiled, honestly. Like, we have technology that you Google anything and the answer pops up. Back in the day, you had to go find an encyclopedia, look through 5 other books to get the right information you need.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're lazy, but we're just spoiled. And if we don't get something right away, we get upset, or we think that that's not good customer service, or we don't. It's good things take time.
It's true. It's true. Good things take time, and it all begins from like within, right? You have to do the work. Nobody's gonna do it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's money. That's mine. Any other interesting books you're reading, or do you recommend, or that you've read?
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
Yeah. Really good. By Napoleon Hill. That's a very interesting book. I find that very motivational and inspiring.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Did you ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, but that was my next book I wanted to read.
Yeah.
I've heard that one was really amazing.
Super good. Or the other one is oh my god, I forgot the name, but it's really, 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 really good. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, or something like that.
No, I didn't see that one. No, I didn't read that one.
That one
but
is.
I have them.
There's so much good shit. So how much time do you put onto growing your business or growing your design stuff versus personal growth?
I think to me it all comes hand in hand. So let's say I watch a good movie. To me, I'm investing my time. That's why I don't watch reality TVs, or like I don't waste my time watching things I can't learn from, or I love movies that can make me cry or make me feel angry because they're doing something right. They're bringing out an emotion out of you, and like I'm learning. Like I love crime movies and crime documentaries because I love the psychology part. So I try and understand and read people's read people's minds or their actions, or educate myself on specific things. So I love documentaries, crimes. I love,
Did you watch
inspiring
Mindhunter?
movies. Which one?
Mindhunter on Netflix.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you have to watch this freaking show. I started now that we're in freaking quarantine. Yeah, write it down. I see you writing it down. It's I'm gonna give you just like a quick summary. It's basically revolves around crime, and it's these two agents that basically study serial killers, and they try to find out the psychology behind them, is if it's created by external effects and like their upbringings, or if it's actually like they're born with some sort of imbalance or whatever. So they're trying to study how serial killers become serial killers, and they're studying
Right.
like they're actually interviewing them, and it's all real case scenarios. And it's
That's
like,
amazing.
and you watch this thing, and it's like when you watch the show, you really have to pay attention, because they're interviewing these serial killers, and it's like, holy crap. And they're trying to figure out why did you do this, what did you see, how did this make you feel. And it's like wow, it's something.
And how does it connect to your upbringing? Because it usually is always the upbringing. Kids are really interesting, because you have to be careful what you say around them and do around them, because they absorb everything, and they're learning, and they're curious, and then they can just take it and turn it into something completely negative if they really want. And then from there it grows, and they grow up to be a psychopath. Or what does it say? Is it really like the upbringing, or is it more?
Most of it is like traumatic experiences that they go through. And it all comes down to like how they deal with it, like how they manage those situations. And some of them are really bad, obviously, and these are all like real case scenarios. So a lot of them it's traumatic experiences in life, and it's like easily relatable to like regular people, right? They go through a shitty breakup, and all of a sudden they're screwed up for X number of years with the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person. And it's like, okay, well, did you deal with your freaking problem or not? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mind is a wonderful thing.
It's a complex thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So, now this being said, I want to give you the opportunity to tell people where to find you, where to see your work. It's time for you to promote yourself.
It is ready. So there's Instagram, of course.
Yeah. So where do they find you on Instagram?
So it's lady_Stef. And then there's my website, which is Bedoya Design. So Bedoya is Bedoya design.com.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, there's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. That's pretty much it. I don't really have Snapchat or TikTok or anything.
That's no. That's just no. I'm not big on social media either, but I try to do it just to stay in the game.
To stay relevant.
Stay relevant. Okay, so thank you very much for being part of this. It was super honestly, you've enlightened me on your design thing. It was super interesting, and we might do it again soon for sure.
Okay. Thank you for having me. It was fun to have a conversation with someone that is interested and wants to know more, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of your podcasts.
Definitely, and maybe the next property I buy soon, I'll give you a call for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Consultation, design, even set design, call me.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much, John.